Welcome to Faith and Freedom. For the next few minutes, we hope to inform, inspire, and encourage you as we discuss the legal victories and challenges to your fundamental freedoms and religious liberties. Faith and Freedom comes to you from Liberty Counsel, a civil liberties education and legal defense organization. Join us now as Matt Staver, the President and General Counsel of Liberty Counsel, explains the latest legal issues all across this country in the courtrooms of America. Liberty Counsel is winning the battle for your constitutional freedoms.
A recent study shows that children of homosexuals or raised in a homosexual environment like that are more likely to be homosexual. That points not to a genetic cause, but to environmental factors. We'll talk about this on Faith and Freedom. I'm Matt Staver, founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel and dean of Liberty University School of Law, and joining me is Matt Barber, director of cultural affairs for Liberty Counsel and associate dean for the law school. Matt, this is a new study that is in the Journal of Bioscience, Biosociology Science, and it recently came out, and it says children of homosexuals are more apt, basically the result is, to be homosexuals. And this is not unusual. I wouldn't think it's not a shocking finding, but there's two things that I think it underscores. Number one, homosexuality is not genetic. And number two, homosexuality is environmentally caused by things that you are around, by your environment, that you are more likely to become homosexual if you're raised in an environment that is homosexual. And obviously, that's not good for America. Yeah. It's not good for children.
Well, and that's the third thing that you need to look at here. What's the third thing that you come away with? And this is a study out of Kansas State University. Researchers there, liberal researchers. These are not people who were seeking to in some way malign homosexual behavior. These are individuals who I think are sympathetic, but they had the guts to stick their neck out and actually show the results of their studies, which are stunning results here. But the third thing is here is it shows that homosexual adoption is a very negative thing. We just had another study come out recently, the CDC, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, which indicated that 1 in 5 self-identified gay men are HIV positive. That is breathtaking. And now we have this study out of Kansas State that indicates that children who live in a homosexual environment with so-called homosexual parents are 10, 12 times more likely to identify as homosexual themselves. That places them literally at risk of contracting HIV/AIDS and a number of other serious sexually transmitted diseases.
Now, I'm reading from an abstract, so understand this is an abstract written more in technical terms, but you'll understand what I read in this first paragraph. The sentence actually, it says 10 narrative studies involving family histories of 262 children of gay fathers and lesbian mothers were evaluated statistically in response to Morrison's 2007 study, raising concerns, about Cameron's 2006 research that had involved 3 narrative studies. Despite numerous attempts, listen to this, despite numerous attempts to bias the results in favor of the null hypothesis. Now, what he's saying is, despite this now attempt to null the response so that there is no difference between children raised in homosexual households versus others, despite numerous attempts to try to prove that point, let me read it again. Despite numerous attempts to bias the results in favor of the null hypothesis and allowing for up to 20 coding errors, Cameron's 2006 hypothesis that gay and lesbian parents would be more likely to have gay, lesbian, bisexual, or unsure of sexual orientation sons and daughters was confirmed.
Yeah.
That's amazing. They tried over and over in this study to zero out the platform so that there's no difference between children raised in heterosexual versus homosexual households. They wanted to rebut Cameron's study that showed that there was a difference, and Morrison's study that raised concerns that there could be a difference, and they were not able to null those. They actually confirmed the hypothesis.
They confirmed it and
Cameron.
Overwhelmingly confirmed it, Matt. And in fact, reading from an AOL Online article that kind of broke the story, they confirmed it with numbers that are breathtaking. And, first of all, the idea that homosexual parents would raise kids who would later engage in homosexual behavior, file that under, well, duh. I mean, of course they are. That's common sense tells you that. But now we have, a credible scientific study that confirms this. Furthermore, when the study restricted the results so that they included only children in their 20s, presumably after they'd been able to work out any adolescent confusion or experimentation, listen to this. Of children raised in households with lesbians, 58% identified as gay. 33% of gay men call themselves gay, having been raised in a homosexual environment. Matt, and you consider that somewhere between 1 to 3% of the population, most credible studies conclude are self-identify as homosexual. 58% from a homosexual environment end up being gay. That's off the charts.
Yeah, it's off the charts. And then you go back to what you just said about 1 in 5 men are infected with HIV, the study that came from not a organization that has a dog in this fight, but from the Center for Disease Control.
No bastion of conservatism.
No bastion of conservatism or of this issue. Yeah. And they came out and said that, in fact, 20% of all homosexual men are HIV positive. Now, that's a deadly virus that can be transmitted to other people through body fluids. And so here you have this population that is exponentially more homosexual when they're raised in a homosexual environment, which 20% of those boys or men will ultimately have HIV. So, this whole idea that same-sex marriage, it's just, they just want to be treated like everyone else, and there's no difference between children raised in a homosexual household versus a heterosexual household, that is baloney.
Well, this blows out of the water as well Judge Von Walker's ruling in California on Proposition 8 that there's no difference between heterosexual relationships, heterosexual parenting, and homosexual parenting. This just totally blows that out of the water. And Matt, as a society, we are criminally reckless to be uplifting and celebrating and promoting this demonstrably destructive lifestyle. And here, it is criminal, Matt, that states like Florida would now turn around and start to allow homosexual adoption, putting these poor kids into this environment where their chances of actually contracting HIV/AIDS, based on the increased chances of becoming homosexual themselves, are going to skyrocket through the roof. They are putting children at risk. Children in gay households are in the crosshairs.
Let me just read from this abstract here, but this is a very good study that supports what we've been saying all along. It says daughters of lesbian mothers were most likely 33% to 57% to report non-heterosexual identities.
As children,
yeah. Data from ethnographic sources and from previous studies on gay and lesbian parenting were re-examined and found to support the hypothesis that social and parental influences, not genetics, but social and parental influences, may influence the expression of non-heterosexual identities and or behavior. Thus, evidence is presented from 3 different sources, contrary to most previous scientific opinion, even most previous scientific consensus, that suggest intergenerational transfer of sexual orientation can occur at statistically significant and substantial rates, especially for female parents or female children. So their studies show that despite this politically driven agenda of the American Psychological Association, the American Counseling Association, that says it's no big deal, these studies show it is a big deal.
Well, isn't it amazing when modern science serves to validate the transcendent truths of Scripture? And that's exactly what we see here. This is stuff that we have been saying all along that is now proven, scientifically proven, that gay adoption bad for kids, that homosexual behavior can be a death sentence. We have the studies to support that. Science is on the side of transcendent truth, the truth that sexual behavior is only appropriate within the bonds of marriage between man and woman.
Well, give us a call at Liberty Counsel at 1-800-671-1776. We're advancing life, liberty, and family through the courtroom, through the policy arenas in this nation's capital and all across the country, and through education. One of the areas that is a huge threat to our family, our faith, and our freedom is this whole homosexual agenda. It is the threat that I think looms the largest to our freedom, to our family, and to the foundation of America. Join us as we defend family and fight for freedom. Go to Liberty Counsel's website, lc.org. Sign up for the Freedom Federation Network right there on the webpage at lc.org. You can click on the blue icon in the left corner and sign up for the social networking, blogging, and events website. You can also order the book, Same-Sex Marriage, Putting Every Household at Risk, and make an online credit card contribution to help support this ministry right there on the website, or call us at 1-800-671-1776.
You have been listening to Matt Staver of Liberty Counsel. Our hope is to encourage and inspire you to stand up for your faith, family, and freedoms. We can accomplish a lot when we work together. Get informed and get involved today. Sign up for our free monthly newsletter, The Liberator. We will send it out to you free of charge. Stay informed with our Liberty Alert email update. Just click on the website at www.lc.org or call us at 1-800-671-1776. Tune in next time to learn more about your rights right here on Faith and Freedom.